If you're in a leadership role, I'm sure you know that the security of your organization's data is, well, it's one of your absolute biggest responsibilities. But here's a question. What if the very foundation of how we do data security is just flawed? Today, we're going to explore a technology that says, yes, it is, and it offers a pretty radical new way of thinking about it. Okay, let's dive right in.
Wow, that really sets the stage, doesn't it? The whole idea here is a complete mind shift. Instead of just building better and better locks for our data, what if we could make the data itself totally useless to anyone who steals it? That's the high-stakes game we're talking about today.
So, let's start by knocking down a really core assumption. For decades, we've thought about data security like we're building a fortress, a vault. But here's the thing about vaults. Every single one, no matter how strong, has a weak point. It can always, eventually, be broken into.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Most of these so-called secure solutions we use, they're really just glorified digital vaults. They pull all your data into one central place, creating this massive, high-value target for any attacker. NanoShard, on the other hand, proposes something completely different. It's not a vault, it's a sovereign execution engine. It's not about storing data at all. It's about processing it in a way that's totally decentralized and totally in your control.
Okay, so this brings us to the core of how this all works. If you're not putting your data in a vault, then what in the world are you doing with it? Well, the answer is a concept they call sharding, or even better, fission.
Think about it. The old way was to carefully collect and stack up all our data, building this huge tower that sooner or later becomes a target. The new way is simple. Just stop storing it. Start shattering it. Break the data into tiny, useless pieces before it can ever be hoarded and stolen. This isn't just an upgrade to the old strategy, it's a completely different game plan.
So how does it actually work in practice? It's actually a pretty elegant three-step process. First, you put in a key or a seed phrase. Think of this as creating a one-of-a-kind digital fingerprint that's used to scramble everything. Second, you literally just drag and drop your sensitive file. And that's it. That's the atomic fission step. The file is instantly shattered into a bunch of fragments. And finally, when you want your data back, you just need those fragments and your original key to put it all back together again.
And check this out, because this is probably the most important part of the whole process. All of this, the key, the fission, putting it back together, it all happens in milliseconds. And it happens entirely inside the memory of your own device. Your original, unencrypted data never ever touches a network cable or an outside server. It stays with you. So if the data isn't on some company's server, where does the magic happen? This is where the whole model really flips the script. The new fortress, the new secure vault, is somewhere you'd probably never expect. It's the web browser you're likely using right now.
Okay, so the secret sauce here is this concept of sovereign execution. By using some really cool tech like Rust and WebAssembly, the entire security operation, the whole shebang, happens right inside your browser's RAM. Your computer's memory becomes the only place the unencrypted secret ever exists, and only for a split second.
Now, for a business, the implications here are just massive. Zero-trace execution means there's literally no log or record of the original data anywhere. There's no big central server for hackers to drool over, which gets rid of a huge amount of risk right there. But the biggest thing? You have absolute non-custodial control. You don't have to trust the provider because they never, ever have access to your keys or your data. Period.
But look, securing data for today, that's not really enough, is it? As a leader, you have to be thinking about the threats of tomorrow. And believe me, there is a very, very big one looming right on the horizon.
I'm talking about the quantum threat. It's this near-future reality where quantum computers get so powerful they can basically shatter the encryption standards we all depend on today. Any data you have that's encrypted with today's methods could one day be wide open. It's a terrifying harvest now, decrypt later scenario that hackers are already preparing for.
And this is where the strategy becomes truly forward-thinking. NanoShard is built from the ground up with something called post-quantum cryptography, or PQC. It's the next generation of security specifically designed to be unbreakable even by the quantum computers of the future. So this isn't just about security for today, it's about being immune tomorrow.
So, when we put all of this together, it becomes pretty clear that this isn't just another IT tool on a checklist. This really represents a fundamental choice, a decision about how we, as leaders, protect our most critical assets.
And that really just leaves us with one final critical question to think about. Is your most valuable asset, your information, actually secure? Or is it just sitting there, centralized, vulnerable, basically just waiting in a vault for the right person to come along and crack the code?